Welcome, Dan Doyle, recruiting coach manager here at NCSA. And today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Coach Fano, who's the head coach at University of St. Mary's in Winona, Minnesota. Coach, how are you today?
Doing well, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me. And so I'm excited to talk to you about your program. I know you're going into is it third year or second year?
Going into my third year.
Third year and building something really nice up there in Winona. So excited to talk to you about that. And then also would love to know a little bit about your coaching background. So why don't you give everyone a minute or two and tell us how you got there?
Yeah, sure. I grew up in Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, went to Fenwick High School in Oak Park, played at Fenwick. And I was fortunate enough to get a job right out of high school coaching. So I was coaching at Gordon Tech right out of high school. And it was a little bit different because I was actually coaching against players that I played against the year before. So that was a little bit of an adjustment, but it was a good learning experience for me and taught me a lot. So then from there, make a long story short, I was there for 7-8 years, went on to Libertyville High School. I was there for a few more years and then got into the college ranks. I was at Benedictine University as the assistant there. My first year there, we went to the national championship. We were 31-0. We ended up losing to St. Thomas in the national championship, which was a great run. Kind of came out of nowhere, but it was a heck of a year and it was a lot of fun. Then from there, I went to North Park University as an assistant coach there, and we won the CCIW for the first time in school history there, and that was a really fun year too. We had All-American Jordan Robinson, phenomenal player, had some great players there. And then from there, I got the head coaching job at St. Mary's up here in Winona, and I am entering my third season here, and inherited a team that went 1-24. My first year, we won 8 games, so we had a 7-game improvement in my first year. And then last year, my second year, we won 14. We finished 14-13. We were the first time we've gone 500 in 35 plus years, and we made the playoffs for the first time in about the same amount of years. And we won a playoff game for the first time in school history. So. We're turning things around here, and it's been fun. It's been exciting. We have 5 returning seniors coming back, so we're excited and hopefully get going here.
Awesome. If you guys were going to play a full season this year, I'd mark you down for 20 wins, right? Continue on that,
Yeah,
that
right.
7-game progression.
Yeah.
But awesome. No, you've done a fantastic job there in 3 years. And anyone who's taken over a program like that knows it's a process. You know, you're not going to go from 1 win and flip it to be 24-1 the following
Sure.
year. So, you know, you're doing things the right way, and recruits should take note of that. Let's talk about St. Mary's a little bit. Academically, what's the profile that you look for in recruit? GPA, test score wise? Are you guys test optional this year or will be moving forward? Explain that to us a little bit.
We're looking to that at going test optional. We've had a team GPA of 3.0 my last 2 years here, so that is definitely important. We tell guys that or kids and families that you're here to go to school, get a degree, get a job in 4 years. That's number one. The type of kids that we're recruiting is we want to recruit those high character kids that have that background of accountability and responsibility. That's a big part of our culture here, and really caring. And we feel that is the framework for what we want as a student athlete. Do you care about your teammates? And you know, I bring it up all the time. We had a kid at Benedictine, Luke Johnson. He averaged 13 points, 10 rebounds a game. And he was player of the year in the country, and he didn't care. And when you have those high character kids that can do it in the classroom, that usually transfers onto the court too, and that can handle the responsibility academically as well as socially on campus. We feel that's important. Obviously in life, growing up, becoming a man and taking responsibility, managing time management, those are all things that we look for and try to help as we get going here, as they get going as incoming freshmen.
Real good, real good. And that's important to hear there. And one thing about Winona, I've actually been there. My dad's an alum back in the 70s. So when we were doing my college tours and I was looking, we made a trip up there and looked at it. But it's an absolutely beautiful campus. You guys are set up on a hill. You got Winona State not too far away. You got the river, Mississippi River right there. So, you know, absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous campus there. You know, for recruits to check out there. And I know that's probably a big selling point for you too, is, you know, you've got a nice city in Winona there to lean on too.
Yeah, it is beautiful up here, even more so this time of year with the colors changing. And things like that. The bluffs in the background are beautiful. We actually own those bluffs. So it's we have cross country, we have hiking up there, we have disc golf on campus. There's a lot of outdoor activities to do here at St. Mary's. And kind of like you said, we have Winona State that's right, a couple miles from us. So it really is a college town and has that college feel to it. So if a student athlete is looking to come here, if they're looking for a big city, skyscraper type, campus, that's not us. We are going to be we are in a college town with 10,000 kids approximately between us and Winona State, within a few miles of each other. So it's a great place if that's something that you're looking for. But we understand that's not for everybody, but it is. I mean, it's beautiful up here. And as you can see in the pictures, especially even this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. What are some of the more popular majors that your roster maybe gravitates to, or that the school is known for?
I would say business is our big one. We have a lot of business majors, and we have tons of alum in Minneapolis and Chicago that can really help out with internships or getting jobs. I know at one point, I don't remember exactly the time of what decade it was, but St. Mary's at one time was 50% alumni were from Illinois. So we have a ton of alumni in Chicago and now Minneapolis that are involved in the basketball program, who are really excited about the team. And we've had 2 huge alumni events in Chicago the last couple of years, where we've had really great crowds on the road. And then as we made the playoffs last year, as the end of the season got going, we even had bigger crowds from the Minneapolis crew that was coming into a lot of our games. And it was really fun and really exciting. And it's great to see alumni excited about the basketball team.
Awesome. And then academically, what resources do you guys have in place for student athletes? Do you require study tables, or is there an academic advisor guys can lean on if needed?
Yeah, we have an academic advisor on campus, and then we also have we do have study hall. We have it twice a week. We believe in that structure for especially the incoming freshmen. If all incoming freshmen will have study table twice a week. If you have a 3.0 or higher after your freshman year, then they've proven to me that they don't have to be there anymore. But I will say a lot of our guys go to the study hall anyway. We have student athletes. We have a few guys that are 4.0s, and they just like that structure to know every Tuesday, Thursday at 6:30 to 8 is going to be study hall. And it just gets them in the habit and a routine. I mean, I think that's especially important for the incoming freshmen. It's going to be their first time away from mom and dad and being away from home, and how are they going to handle those responsibilities? And we try to provide that structure. And then we also have weekly academic meetings for everybody for the same thing. If it's a 3.0 or below, we will meet once a week. And what we do is we ask what we have coming up. So if you have a test on October 10th, then the following week, we want them to show us what you received on that test or paper. We have a rule, you don't miss class, but that's a question we ask. But those are really the main things that we do academically to keep them on track for their 4 years here. And obviously our doors are wide open. I have a full-time assistant on staff as well as me. So our doors are always open, and we always will get them the help that they need, whether it's a tutor or whatnot.
Real good. Love to hear that. Those are available for student athletes. And then tell me about on the floor. What's your coaching style, philosophy there with the team?
A big thing for me is trust. Is can I trust you? And it kind of goes into our recruiting philosophy too. Can we trust you? Do you care about your teammates? Do you care about winning? We have an equal opportunity offense where we don't care who gets the credit. And I think the guys have really bought into that. Eli Cave is our all-conference player. He's going to be a senior this year. He's come so far in the last couple of years, and he's really led our team with that, because he's a guy that could average pretty much whatever he wants. He can score, but he's very unselfish. He rebounds. And we teach principles over plays. We're not going to teach you 100 different types of plays, but we're going to teach you how to play. And it's really based on just principles and, helping your teammates. And I'll ask a recruit, how can you help your teammate? And a lot of times they'll say, well, you cheer them on and things like that, which is true. But we want them to, how can you help your teammate? You can set a great screen by getting him open. You can dive on the floor for a loose ball. You can get a big rebound. You can take a charge. You can make a good pass. There's many ways to help your teammates. So that's just one of the principles. Another one is we want to catch and see the basketball. So we can have our guys catch and see. We want them to see the floor. Guys that catch and dribble can't see the floor. So if we have a guy coming off a screen and he's dribbling on the floor, you're not going to be able to see your teammate. Those are just a few of the principles that we teach. And then we break that down into drills and breakdowns, and we call them drills to build your imagination. And it's just your offensive imagination to just play basketball and play with confidence. And that's how we teach that trust. And they can show me what they can do on the court. And a player that plays for me will never wonder if it's a good shot or a bad shot because they're going to know. They will know because I will be honest with them, and I will tell them that, hey, great shot, bad shot. They'll never have to. I never want a player looking over their shoulder at me. They should know when it is. I want them to play with confidence. Every time that they shoot it, it's going in. And we have to have court awareness to know if, okay, we just scored the basketball 3 times in a row in the post. We need to get that guy the ball. Or this guy just hit 2 threes in a row. We need to come down and get him the ball again. And again, that's all doing we teach that all during our breakdowns in practice and then transfers onto the game. And a lot of the drills that we do are competitive. We keep score, as many game-like situations as we can in practice. And then just develop. We start 2-on-2 to 3-on-3, up to 4-on-4, and then up to 5-on-5 until we're going up and down.
Awesome, great stuff there. Love that. And in the recruiting process, you talked a lot about some of the intangibles there. So how important, obviously everyone's looking for guys that can score, that have physically are long, gifted, athletic, good skill development areas. But what are some other intangibles that maybe you look for in evaluating recruits that can move them up a recruiting board, and then vice versa? What can take a kid off your recruiting board?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there. It's obviously we all want guys that can shoot, can jump and dunk and do all that stuff. But it also, to me, it comes down again to that trust and caring aspect. Can I trust you? And what's your body language like? If I'm watching a kid play and his body language is awful and maybe he's a subpar student, then we're not going to invest that much time in that type of player. So we want those players that can kind of fit that mold of trust and caring and commitment. Are they responsible? Not only are you holding yourselves accountable, but are you holding your teammates accountable? And then from there, we want that to be inherited through, we want our freshmen to learn from our upperclassmen. And then when their freshmen become upperclassmen, we want them to learn from them. And it just keeps rolling that way. Those are really the main things, Dan. And of course, like I said, talent is important, but at the end of the day, we want guys with high character that do care about their teammates and don't care about themselves. And the one thing I learned too is with the success that I've had at Benedictine and North Park, the farther you advance in the tournament, that's where the individual recognition comes too. A lot of guys want to play overseas and things like that. Well, we play in one of the tougher leagues in the country. And if we make the playoffs in our league, guys are going to get noticed. And especially as you get into the NCAA tournament, they're going to get noticed even more. So the farther we advance, the more individual recognition they are going to get anyway. So that's really what we're looking for in a recruit.
Awesome. And you started to touch a little bit more on your program's culture off the floor, with accountability, high character. Anything you're doing outside of practice or just team activities that helps develop that with your players?
It's hard to do that now with everything going on.
Sure.
With all the rules. So we unfortunately haven't been able to do too much this year. In the past, we've done some things. We volunteered and did some things up at US Bank Stadium where the guys would work a football game. They would work a concert, things like that. We try to do some team activities during the year, such as we did an escape room last year, team thing, or over Christmas break. Whether it's going to a movie or having a cookout, things like that. We are also we're looking to travel. We were scheduled to go to Florida this year, but that got canceled because of COVID. So we do plan on doing that next year. I would like to travel at least 2 of our 4 years. And then the other 2 years, we're either going to go to Chicago or like a Milwaukee, depending on where our guys are from, because that's really where most of our guys are from. from those Wisconsin, Illinois, Minneapolis area. So we're a small school, but we want to make you feel a part of something big. Some things that we try to do to help outside the court.
Perfect. Perfect. And then in the off season, tell me what's fall and spring look like for St. Mary's basketball? I know you're limited with, getting your hands on them and being on the floor with there, but what are some of the resources that you guys have in place for, athletes to take advantage in their development outside of the season? Are you there?
Yep. You there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep. I now hear you. You disappeared there.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. So in the off season here, what are you guys, what are your players able to do? Strength and conditioning, player development wise? I know it's probably senior led or captain led, but fill us in on that.
Yeah, that's mainly what it is. But then we also have two full-time strength and conditioning coaches on staff. So they will work with the guys a lot in the fall. And then again, after the season. So they develop a plan that is all relative to basketball. And then once they get to know them, they will break it down even more individually to if a guy has to get into better shape, if he needs to get quicker, if he needs to get stronger, this guy needs to lose weight, whatever it may be. It'll be kind of custom to their individual what they need. From there, and then in the summertime, as you said, there's not much we can do. We do play in a couple shootouts on the weekend in the Wisconsin Dells. I think it's 3 of them throughout the summer. And it's actually a good meeting point because it's almost halfway for our Chicago guys and our Minneapolis guys, and our Wisconsin guys are closer to there anyway. So we will play there in the summertime. And I think it's 3 games a weekend, or on a Sunday or Saturday, they'll play 3 games. It's almost back to back to back. So it's fun, and they like to, and it's good for the guys to get together in the summertime. And then there's some open gyms that are out through Chicago in the summertime that we do. And then there's a Sunday night league in Minneapolis that our Minneapolis guys will play in. But as we get to know each other, the cool thing about this is that, I tell people that it's not like you're going to high school all over again if you're coming to St. Mary's, because you're going to meet guys, the Minneapolis guys are going to meet the Chicago guys, and Chicago is going to, and they end up staying for their house for a week, and then they vice versa. So the Chicago guys will go up and play in Minneapolis, and then the Minneapolis guys can come down and play in Chicago. So that's really what we do in the summertime. And then, like I said, we have a strength and conditioning coach. We just hired another one, so now we have 2. And that really helps out with our student athletes. Yeah,
that's a great resource, for student athletes to take advantage, and something that you'd see at the high, Division I level is that you've got a personal strength and conditioning coach to help strengthen your game and get you where you need to be as a college athlete. You're going into year 3 here. What's the goals that you have for the program over the next 4 to 5 years?
We want to compete for the league every year and make the NCAA tournament. That's something that we haven't done before. And that's definitely a goal of ours, is to make the NCAA tournament and win the league in the next 4 or 5 years. It's funny because when people would ask me that a couple of years ago, I didn't know, because I didn't know. I just knew the record, and I just knew what we inherit, but it was, you would have told me we would have won 4 games my first year, I would have been happy. But to win 8 and then to get to what we did last year, now our goals have changed. So yeah, now we want to compete for the league, and we want to make the NCAA tournament. And I think we've also recruited 2 freshmen the last 2 years who have made all freshman MIAC team. So even though we're graduating, the players that we are still have a good foundation in the future. And it's also an opportunity for players to come in and have a chance to play right away on a team that is that can be pretty good the next few years.
Awesome. That's great to hear, and good luck there. I know you've done a fantastic job at your previous stops, kind of turning those programs around or getting them to that next level. So I imagine the same will happen here at St. Mary's. Let's talk about college life or campus life. What's on-campus housing look like? Do many of your freshmen kind of pair up and live together? Do you require that? What's that look like for incoming freshmen?
We don't require that, but we do have a brand new freshman dorm on campus. It's brand new, which is apartment style, which is really nice, air conditioning, things like that. It does require an early commitment because of school, because everybody wants to get in there. But the good thing about St. Mary's is that nobody goes home on the weekends. It's not a quote unquote suitcase college where people go to school Monday to Thursday and then everybody goes home on the weekends. Everybody stays on campus. And then as juniors and seniors, it's apartment style living. So it's nice. Yeah, I mean, nobody goes home. And like I said, it's a college town, so there's things to do. It's just a matter of, and we encourage our student athletes to be friends with people with outside of their team as well. We want them to interact with them because, for one, it gets them away a little bit, but then it also, they create friends and things like that, and it puts more people in the seats because they want to come out and watch their friends play, and it just makes for a bigger crowd at our games. So.
Mm-hmm. Real good. And then do most of your teammates live together after their first year?
Yeah, most of them do. And they all meet up together and decide who wants to live with who. And for the most part, they all live together. If not, they're living with another athlete on campus. But the majority of them do. They all do live.
Okay, perfect. And then is it realistic to have a part-time job or work study job there, while being a student athlete at St. Mary's?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a handful of guys that are doing that. They work on campus. We have Fano, that's another big company here that guys will go work there part-time, or even if it's Target. So yeah, that definitely can be worked around, and we do have guys that do that.
Okay, real good. And you just proved my point. I say if I talk to anyone in Minnesota, they've got to mention Target at least once. It's so big, and the headquarters are not too far away from you there.
Right.
So.
Yep.
Awesome. And if I'm an interested recruit in St. Mary's, what's my first step in starting to get on your radar and begin the recruiting process?
First thing is just really, I tell our guys to get applied right away. Get applied right now. We're doing virtual tours. Get on, take the virtual tour, and then really reach out to myself, my assistant, and they will do the virtual tour, which lasts, I think, about 45 minutes. And then if they like what they see, we come on and we try to get them on campus for an on-campus visit, and then go from there. We've had a lot of success with our virtual tour. We've had a lot of visits. As a matter of fact, I got one coming up here soon. But that would be the first thing to do, is really get online, send me an email, reach out to me, if it's with video attached to it, or my assistant, and then we would reach out to them, exchange phone numbers, and just kind of develop that relationship, and then go from there. And like I said, start with the virtual tour. And then if they like what they see, we bring them on campus for an on-campus visit, watch practice if they'd like. And obviously under normal times, we'd invite them out for, we can't do overnights right now because of COVID, but we are allowing visits on campus. And that's another thing. We are all online, or we all are in person right now, in-person learning. So our classes are going on as scheduled. So if a student athlete was to come on campus, they would kind of see it as how it would normally be.
Awesome. That's great. And then what are some things that we haven't talked about St. Mary's academically, socially, with your program that you want to wrap us up with?
I think we hit on most of the things. It's just like I said, it's a great place to be. There's a lot of resources here, and really, the basketball team we're on the rise, and we want to keep this thing rolling here. And like I said, we play in a really tough conference. It's fun to play here. You're playing, our farthest road trip is about 5.5, 6 hours, Fargo, North Dakota. That's one thing parents will ask too a lot. If that's one thing maybe we didn't touch on, is how far are the games. Most of our league is approximately 2 hours away, with the exception of Concordia, and that would be an overnight trip. That's the one league game that we do an overnight trip with is Concordia. But other than that, I think we've touched on everything. And I thank you for the opportunity to get this out there, and I appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you, Coach. We really appreciate your time, and want to get the word out about St. Mary's and what you're building. And the conference, having been a Midwest Division III guy myself, is one of the best in the country. And night in and night out is a battle, and so it's amazing how strong that league is from top to bottom there.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to play in, and it's fun because going from the CCIW to the MIAC, and there's no easy games. Every game is tough, whether you're in first place or last place. And we had 13 losses last year. We were 14-13, and 5 of our losses were to St. John's and St. Thomas, who were ranked 1 and 2 in the country last year. So If we were in almost any other league in the country, we could have maybe won 17, 18, 19 games last year. So it's just really fun to play, and it's a fun league, and we're looking forward to keeping it going here.
Yeah, absolutely. Recruits, get online, check them out, check out the virtual tour, and then most importantly, when the season gets going, check out the stream of the game. A lot of the small colleges that stream these games online are in HD. Great production, similar to what you'd probably see on ESPN with maybe a few replays, some commentary, and then check out the style, check out the level of competition, see if it's a fit here for you. So Coach Fano, thank you so much for your time here, and good luck here as the season picks up.
Yep. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.